to Joy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Minnie.
Today, it's May 3rd. We're on pages 10 and 11 in your magazine. We're on day 2 of the color green.
那我们今天绿色几好几坏的第二天，在第11页的部分。
This is not an exciting title, but it's the history of something we all understand. And for me, I always really like these articles because I like to know how did we get here? How did we evolve here?
所以老师说他非常喜欢跟历史相关的东西，所以今天讲到我们大家都知道了绿色，但要讲到历史就觉得很有趣。
All right, well with that, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to start this paragraph 1.
The color green. The color green is also closely linked to the environmental movement. In fact, it's almost impossible to spot any ads for recycling, protecting forests, or saving the planet that don't use the color green. Humans have connected green to nature for thousands of years. Research shows that human eyes are more sensitive to green than to any other color. This ability allowed our ancestors to pick out ripe red and yellow fruits in dark green forests. Ancient Egyptians viewed green as sacred, and it shows in their language and art. Their word for green also means flourish. Muslims have been fond of green since their religion began. Muhammad considered it the most beautiful color, and the Quran describes paradise as a place filled with green gardens and trees. In the Middle Ages, Western civilization's love for green reached an all-time high. As Europeans reconnected with nature, European poets began praising the gorgeous green fields in their homelands. In modern times, green has become mixed with politics, with green parties popping up in several nations. These parties use the color green to symbolize concern about climate change and the dangers it presents. Hopefully, their conservation efforts will keep the world green for generations to come.
Okay, everyone, I want you to think of the McDonald's logo. Think of not just the M, but what colors do you see?
Red and yellow.
Red and yellow. And white.
And white.
Think of the Burger King logo. What colors are they?
Red and yellow and white?
Red, yellow, and white. Think of Moe's Burger. What color are they?
Red, yellow, and white?
Well, not a lot of yellow. They use a little green.
Bit.
They use a little green, but remember yesterday I said the green 就代表蔬菜. That's right. So why do Moe's Burger, McDonald's, Burger King, and many, many other fast food restaurants, and they go Royal Host, I'm trying to think of the Chinese name, red, yellow, white. Why? Yellow means fat, and red means blood, it means meat, and then white means clean. So in the past, most restaurants were really dirty. And when McDonald's and Burger King were kind of coming out, they wanted to tell you we were a very clean restaurant. And we also want you to enjoy our fatty meat food.
Fatty meat food.
That's exactly right.
哦，好，所以老师刚刚有说，为什么这种素食店他们都说红色、黄色、白色，是因为红色它有肉类的意思，那黄色它有一种脂肪 fat 的意思，那白色有一种干净的意思。在他们这种素食店刚开始要萌芽的时候，有很多餐厅其实是蛮脏乱的，所以这个时候素食餐厅它就要想要强调说，我们有很肥美的肉，然后又有很干净的环境，赶快来吃我们。
Now, maybe that sounds weird, right? Like, well, fat and blood and all that. But remember, we are animals and we do eat meat, right? So it makes sense to kind of encourage us to do that. Also, one color you won't see at most fast food restaurants, light blue. Light blue is for diet foods.
哦，如果是淡蓝色、天蓝色的话，我们是不会在素食店看到，因为淡蓝色、天蓝色它代表的是 light food.
That's right. If you want to go on a diet and lose weight, you want to be skinny, we think of the color light blue, like the sky. All right, let's jump right into paragraph 1. The color green is also closely linked to the environmental movement.
那我们这边有看到 link to， 昨天有学过，还记得吗？代表关联，所以这个句子告诉我们，绿色它也与环保运动有密切的相关。
We also learned yesterday to be associated with. That's just the same thing as to be linked to. Let's continue. In fact, it's almost impossible to spot any ads for recycling, protecting forests, or saving the planet that don't use the color green.
那事实上呢，几乎不可能发现任何不使用绿色的回收啊、保护森林啊、拯救地球的这种广告。每一个广告都一定会用绿色。
That's right. Humans have connected green to nature for thousands of years.
那人类数千年来呢，都将绿色跟自然做连结。
That's right. The color green is everywhere in spring. We love to use that in our clothes. The fashion colors you buy. Like I'm wearing a weird color for March. This is really a fall kind of color. But you could go to the store now in March and buy lots of these very light colors. And now is probably the best time to buy like any green clothes.
所以呢，像人类它在过季节，不同的季节，我们的衣服时尚，连时尚的颜色都跟着季节来做变化。
Our next sentence begins, research shows or studies show that human eyes are more sensitive to green than to any other color.
那研究显示，人类的眼睛对绿色比对任何其他的颜色都还要来得更敏感。
I feel like I've heard this about every color. Like red, right? Yeah. Because you're always sensitive to red, you're sensitive to white. Maybe not black, right? Because that means no color. So you're not sensitive to it. But I feel like this is something I hear about every color.
If you are a baby, then you are very sensitive to black and white.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
Because they cannot identify different colors yet.
Okay. All right, let's continue. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you remember like seeing? Wait, does this mean like when you're a baby you don't see color? Is that what that means? Really? Babies don't see color?
Yeah.
When do you start to see color?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
You know, I wanted to ask you. Like, I remember being very young and seeing in color, but maybe I was like two or 3 years old.
Well, then, Steffi, we're talking about infants.
Like here. Infants, right?
Yeah. 如果你是襁褓中婴儿，你只对黑白有反应。
I wonder how young you can remember something. Like this is not our topic today. We just start talking about it. Like how young can you remember something?
I'll try to tell you when the baby is old.
All right, let's continue. This ability allowed our ancestors to pick out ripe red and yellow fruits in dark green forests.
那这项能力让我们的祖先 ancestor 祖先得以在深绿色的森林中呢，挑选出成熟的红色和黄色的水果。那这不代表他们对红色跟黄色比较敏感吗？
I guess so, but maybe because we see I don't know. So let's think about what we were talking about earlier. McDonald's, red, white, and yellow.
Yeah.
We got Burger King, red, white, yellow. Now we got red, and yellow here again. These are very important colors for us as animals. Okay, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we got paragraph 2. Hey, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're looking at paragraph 2, and we're on pages 10 and 11. Ancient Egyptians viewed green as sacred, and it shows in their language and art.
那古埃及人呢，他们视绿色为一个神圣的颜色，而且呢，这也体现他们在他们的语言跟艺术当中。
So in most of history, the hardest color to get was purple.
Oh.
It was very, very hard to make, and you needed a lot of the stuff to make anything purple. That's why in Europe, pretty much only kings could wear purple. They were the only people that could afford it.
所以在以前呢，紫色这个颜色是最难混出来、最难得到，所以也是最珍贵的颜色。所以你会看到，在欧洲国家，你看到穿紫色衣服，基本上都是贵族、皇亲国戚。
Now, another expensive color, but this one was a little bit more common, was red. And you can get red from a lot of places, but for most of history, the easiest way to get red was to take this little red bug, you would dry it out, crush it, and then just use it. In fact, any red food in the past was pretty much made out of this red bug's shell. And even candies today still use this bug's shell, like in M&M chocolates.
Can you see my face now? Oh my god. 所以老师说另外一个很贵重但是也是比较好得到的颜色是红色。那有一种虫子啊，它搅碎了以后的那个汁液是红色。然后所以有很多的食物啊，甚至连我们现在吃的软糖，有时候它那个色素的来源都是那个虫虫。
So in our last paragraph, and the first word in this paragraph, we have these two words. We have ancestor And we have ancient. And we can kind of see they have this A-N. And this is from Latin. That A-N or A-N-C-E just means before.
所以在这边我们可以看到上一段的最后一个字是 ancestor 祖先那个字，还有我们这一段的第一个字 ancient 古老这个字，它都有一个 A-N-C-E-A-N 这个是拉丁文。那 A-N-C-E 这个字呢，基本上就是 before 以前的意思。
That's right. And the middle part of ancestor, C-E-S-T, just means go. So the word ancestor just means go before you. And the word ancient also has this A-N, and then we have C-I-E. This is the same thing. So ancient just means before you a long time ago. So that's all that means.
Yeah, this is linguistic.
Yeah, that's right. If you know your Latin, English comes together really easily.But you got to study it a lot.
逻辑还蛮有趣的啦，对，所以 CEST 代表 go，ANCE 代表 before， 所以就是代表去到以前，就是代表我们的祖先，代表说古老的时候。
And pay attention to the word sacred. This word is really hard for students because it looks weird. We don't say it a lot. But if you listen to it slowly, sacred. 很像老师他在骂你 Hey, sacred. And you're like, oh, okay, I can say this.So, yeah, like what does crid mean? 没关系，老师就骂我说我要 say crid, and now it's easy.
Sacred.
Sacred. Did you say it?
Sacred.
Crid.
Crid.
Crid, that's me. Crid Gorski.
真的是哦 OK.
Their next sentence says, their word for green also means flourish.
那绿色在他们的语言里面呢，也代表的是 flourish， 就代表繁荣的意思。
That's right. Muslims have been fond of green since their religion began.
那在这边穆斯林呢，从他们的宗教起开始呢，就喜欢绿色。
All right, let's continue. Muhammad considered it the most beautiful color, and the Quran describes paradise as a place filled with green gardens and trees.
那穆罕默德认为呢，绿色是一个漂亮的颜色。那古兰经 Quran 也描述说，天堂是一个充满着绿色花园跟树木的地方。
And this kind of makes sense. Think where Muhammad grew up. He lived in a very dry, arid, A-R-I-D, arid place. It's not a desert, but there's not a lot of green plants. So water was very important where he lived. And if you have a lot of water, you have a lot of green grass, you have a lot of trees, you have vegetables. Heaven or paradise will have a lot of green.
所以老师刚刚来讲了一下那个穆罕默德长大的背景哦，他可能有很多水的地方，你可能就会长了很多树木啊，然后就可以看到很多灌木绿色的这样子。
Let's continue. In the Middle Ages, Western civilization's love for green reached an all-time high.
那在中古世纪的时候，西方的 civilization 文明呢，西方的文明对于绿色的喜爱程度到达了前所未有的高峰。
As Europeans reconnected with nature, European poets began praising the gorgeous green fields in their homelands.
那随着欧洲人重新与自然做连结，欧洲的诗人们便开始赞扬他们家乡的绿地。
Yeah, this is such a weird way to reconnect with nature. The Middle Ages is after the fall of Rome. When Rome ended, the world was a very bad place. So you had to reconnect with nature because living in cities was really, really dangerous. So you just go run into the forest and hide. It's a terrible time.
在中古世纪的时候，那个 Rome 罗马时代那个时候刚结束的时候，城市是非常不好居住，
It was a terrible
环境很
place.
差，所以大家就试图一直要跟绿地啊、跟大自然重新连接。
Yeah, you really love nature because if you're not in nature, someone's going to come into your city and kill you. So it's like, hey, I love nature because I just don't want to die in my city. So yeah, that's the color green. Now, think of every famous big company in the world. Don't think of small companies. Every big company. These are called the Fortune 500 companies. Okay? And now I want you to kind of close your eyes and think of their logos. What color are they?
所以老师说，想一想哦，你现在身边熟悉的一些商标、一些 logo， 闭上眼睛想想它们是什么样的颜色。
What color don't you see? Think of all 500, as many as you can. You can even, like Janting, pause the video here, talk with your classmates. what colors are on these logos and what color don't you see?
所以你这些 logo 商标的颜色大部分是什么？什么样颜色你绝对不会看到？
And the correct answer is pink.
Pink.
You will not find pink on any Fortune 500 logos.
所以这些就是500大企业没有任何的商标是粉红色的。
So what colors will we see in Fortune 500 logos? Well, number one is blue. Blue means trust.
所以蓝色代表信任，所以第一个最常见的像 Facebook 的那个 logo 就是蓝色。
Which is weird, right? Facebook is not trustworthy. But 75% of credit card companies use blue.
75%的那个信用卡公司的 logo 全部都是蓝色。
Number two, red, Coca-Cola.
第二个就是红色。
Three, green.
第三个是绿色。
Number four, black.
第四个是黑色，
Black feels like money.
因为黑色感觉就会让人家想到钱。
Number five is yellow.
然后第5个常见的是黄色，
Then we have orange and a few purple.
然后橘色、紫色就是一点点的比例。
All right, let's get ready for our next paragraph. And when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. Hey, welcome back to Enjoy English School. Let's jump into our final paragraph today. In modern times, not modern, green has become mixed with politics, with green parties popping up in several nations.
那在现代呢，随着绿色政党在多个国家出现哦，绿色也逐渐与政治混为一谈了。
Be careful of the pronunciation for nations. This is the noun. The adjective is national with a short a.
所以名词跟形容词的那个 a 的读音不一样 ，nation national。
Very good. Next, these parties use the color green to symbolize concern about climate change and the dangers it presents.
那这些政党他们用绿色来象征说他们对气候变迁以及其他带来的危险的这种关心关切的态度。
When we symbolize something, that means we represent or show it. And underline climate change, this is an uncountable noun. So that's why we say the dangers it presents, not they present.
所以在这边我们要把 climate change 气候变迁这个字画底线，它是不可数的名词，也就是为什么我们说 it presents 而不是 they， 我们用 it 用单数。
Now, pay attention to this word climate. We have C-L-I-M-A-T-E, but we don't say climate. This is climate because it's a noun usually, and here it's the adjective. So when A-T-E is in a noun or adjective, 它会发短 I, climate.
所以如果 ate 在它是形容词或名词的这种词性的话，它会发短短的声音 climate， 不会是 mate 哦，要小心这个读音。
That's right. When it's a verb, it's just ate, and well, dangrang because eat, ate. Ate is the past tense verb, and that's a long A.
所以我们发长音 a 的时候，是它当它动词的使用。
And just very quickly, sometimes students don't know what climate is. Climate is just weather, but for a very, very long time. So today's weather, 怎么样, 怎么样, but think about today's weather for 100 years. Every day on March, 3rd?
Yeah.
March 3rd for 100
May
years.
3rd.
That's the climate.
所以这边我们 weather 这个字我们都有学过是天气的意思，那 climate 就把它想成是把它放大来看气候，就代表说可能经过好几年的这种累积，这个是一个气候，长时间的我们就用 climate。
Okay, let's continue here. Hopefully their conservation efforts will keep the world green for generations to come.
Hopefully 希望他们的保护工作呢将会为后代的子孙保留一个绿色的世界。
So if you understand political groups or politics, that's always plural. 你可以圈起来这个 s 在这个第三段的第一句。We know that conservation looks like the word conservative, 保守。And the word conservative and conservation both mean to keep things the same.
所以 conservation 是保护的意思。那刚刚老师讲的 conservative 后面改成 IVE conservative， 它是保守的形容词，都是有一种保護關在一起的感觉。
That's right. So conservatives usually don't want to change policies or politics to something different, and conservationists means we want to keep the environment good. We don't want to sell the forest to chop it down. We don't want to dig up for oil. So conservative, conservation, conservatives, conservationists. That's a pretty tricky word. Okay, so Minnie, I want to ask you, what was your favorite color when you were a little girl, and what's your favorite color today? Did it change?
It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. Okay, so what is your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple. And my lucky color is also purple. So every time when I'm going to a new meeting or a new class, because I also teach air yoga, I will always wear purple pants.
Oh, that's right. I have noticed you do wear purple. But you're wearing a lot of purple today, I see, too.
Yeah.
So why do you like purple?
Because I think purple is a very noble color.
Oh, that's interesting. That's what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I don't know why, 但是我从小就觉得 purple noble 就是很高贵的颜色，然后 purple 又好像很少见，然后如果 purple 的衣服也很难买，但是买到了又都很漂亮， so I love purple.
But you don't wear very, very purple, like grape purple, right?
I like different shades of purple.
That's right. When I was young, I liked the color green, but I like the color blue more now. And this is what we want to ask you guys. Did your favorite color change like when you were a little kid and now? Tell us down in your comments here. What was your favorite color? What color do you like today? And tell us why. That's what we want to know today. And we're looking forward to your answers.
Yeah, 所以如果你有喜欢的颜色，从以前到现在都没变过，还是以前喜欢什么，现在喜欢什么，告诉我们留言，告诉我们你的原因哦。
而且告诉我们为什么。我都觉得，如果你很喜欢这个颜色，通常有个特别的原因，为什么？我要听到你的为什么，好不好？ And let's get ready for our vocab review. Hey everyone, welcome back to Enjoy English School. Let's do our grammar review. Our first word today is to recycle, but in our article, it's a gerund for recycling.
我们的文章里面你看到是 ing 动名词形式，但不要忘记哦，这个字它其实是动词 recycle 回收的意思。
Number 2, we have to be sensitive to.
就代表你对什么事情很敏感，记得介系词是 to 哦。
And number 3, ripe. It's an adjective.
Ripe 就代表很成熟，但是这边的成熟不是说我妹妹很成熟，不是哦，是水果很成熟。
This is food.
Okay.
That's a
如果你要形容人的成熟，我们用 mature 这个字会比较好。
That's a very good point. Ripe and mature.
Yeah.
Number 4, paradise is an uncountable noun. It means heaven.
不可数名词，天堂的意思 paradise.
Number 5, something reaches an all-time high.
就代表什么东西达到前所未有的高峰。
Number 6, homelands.
就是你的家乡。
We also could say like your homeland, but we usually don't say a homeland. We usually don't say that. Number 7, to pop up.
Pop up 就代表说突然间出现的意思。
And number 8, to symbolize.
Symbolize 就代表说它象征代表的意思。
And with that, we're done. Don't forget to tell us your favorite color. Don't forget to tell us why. And tell us something else you learned today, too. We always enjoy seeing those comments. For Enjoy English School, I am Chris Gorski.
I'm Minnie.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.